This time on TK's Garage 405, we're going making some draggy passes. What's going on, guys? Just taking the medium lime iridium C10 out for our cruise today. Had some camper trouble last night there. We're using our camper as our kitchen and everything, washing dishes and all that kind of stuff, and last night it crapped out on us there. I don't know, it seems like it's a breaker problem, so I'm gonna head over to Lowe's and pick up a breaker for it. But I figured I was actually gonna do some work to it this morning, but it was cold. But it needs plugs and wires and all that kind of stuff. I was debating if I do it before I take it for a dyno. I actually had called for a dyno about a week and a half ago there, and they didn't want to do it because the weather, which is weird. It wasn't really that cold, but anyways, so I threw it up for sale there because I figured if I get a fair offer on it, I'd probably move on to another project here. I've mentioned lots of times before that if I was going to keep this truck, that I would probably got the cops around there. But if I was gonna keep this truck, I'd want it to be better, and it would almost have to go through the same process again to make it what you want to call nice or whatever. It's just a weekend cruiser truck. Like I said, we rushed it together pretty fast there when we built it, so it didn't really get all the things that it needed. I was happy with how the paint turned out, but I wasn't ready for it body wise, so just kind of figuring that kind of stuff out, like I said, it was a budget truck, and I'm totally fine with that. But it was one of those things that, if I was going to keep it some sort of longer term, that I would make it nicer. The thing about doing YouTube like this is that you don't normally, early on, if you're smarter about it, you don't normally buy vehicles that you want to keep longer term, I feel like, because you kind of keep having to flip vehicles to get onto your next vehicle, I think, to grow your channel and have new, fresh content, I really don't know. I'm on the fence about it, whether or not square bodies are a really good content builder for YouTube. I know a lot of people like square bodies, but I feel like the kind of the world we live in today, it's not as popular as a lot of other things. Obviously, if you had a lot of money, you would buy something like a Lamborghini, and that would just get you a bunch of views right away. But there is some other vehicles I feel like would do really well that aren't that expensive. Things that I would never normally ever buy, but maybe would be good YouTube content. So just kind of feeling that out. But anyways, figured today maybe take this thing from do another draggy pass with it, now that it's not going to lay 500 feet of rubber when I nail it. I know the one spark plug wire, it was sparking a little bit there, so it needs plug wires. It's literally, they're probably 30 years old. I looked at them this morning, I was like, oof. But I'll see if this guy is interested. There's a guy coming to look at it today, see if he's interested in actually buying it. If he takes it, then whatever, we'll move on to the next one. If not, I'll probably do a little tune-up to it and things like that. I don't know if I want to put all my good parts into it, like the mini spool, the locker and the ceramic headers and stuff, because I might buy another truck like this. I actually found another truck that was actually a medium lime iridium green factory color that they had painted gray, but underneath the hood and everything, it's still all the factory color, so all a guy would have to do is just paint it back to the factory color. This color I mentioned before was just a summit green color. It's close, but not exact. So if I was building a nicer one, I'd probably get the factory paint, which would be about $700 somewhere in that ballpark there. I'd probably be a lot more thorough about the body work. When we did this truck, the shop we had that we were working, it was really dark, and we actually thought we had got the bed really good because we spent the most amount of time on it, and there's still tons of waffles and little divots in it and stuff, so I wasn't really happy with that part. That's probably the worst part of it, but like I said, it is what it is. It's, I don't want to have to care about it too much if I'm going to be driving it like I've been driving this truck, but yeah, it's been fun anyways, and really had a lot of fun with my son building it and everything like that, but you know, nothing lasts forever, so just kind of seeing how things go here, and if the guy decides to take it, that's totally fine. I'll move on to another one. I don't know if I'll buy another square body right away. I really want that truck, but then it's like one of those trucks that I think I would have a really hard time selling because I'd really want to build it in something like what I want. And then once I do that, you know, you get attached to things, and again, I don't know if buying another square body immediately here is good for YouTube content. Maybe you guys can give me your opinions on that and see what you think, if you think it's something that would grow. But you know, every time I do like square body videos, I don't get as many views, it seems like. So I get some, but I get a lot more views on other things, like when I'm broken down or whatever, things like that, on other random content. So kind of see, maybe I'm just not big enough to get all those bigger views and that kind of stuff. But yeah, so anyways, I'm just kind of seeing, I guess said I'd throw it up for sale. You know, I'm priced it pretty fair, I think, for what it is. It still does have tons of new parts in it, you know. I mean, it's been painted, it's got new carpet, floor pans, rocker panel, 2 new front fenders, the doors were changed, the bed was changed, everything's rust free now, right? The body panels and things like that, new grill. I mean, there's just lots. I forget, we did so much to it, but we did the seat in here and things like that. So yeah, I don't know, it's just one of those things. Like I said, if I was gonna keep something longer term, then I would just, I'm not super happy with how the body lines line up right now. I could probably, you know, address that by obviously adjusting things or whatever, but I know it's not going to be perfect because we made some mistakes with the bodywork, right? So it would have to be resanded down, do some more work. I have said before, I think it needs bed sides. That would probably be the easiest solution to actually fixing this truck the right way, probably, and the rest of it wouldn't be too bad then, probably. But yeah, there's just some things I forgot. Like I didn't even know at the time. There's like body mounts on it that really, they're underneath the cab or whatever, the cab mounts, and those didn't get put back in because I had no clue. I didn't even know that it was so rusted. I didn't even know those were supposed to be in there, so that kind of got overlooked. So there's just some things like that it's still totally fine as a driver and stuff, but you know, I'd probably put a different rear in it and put some better gears and all that kind of stuff. And you know, it's just like I said, it's where do you kind of stop, right? So I don't have tons of money into it. If I start putting more money into it, and then it's going to be like, well, you'll never get your money back out of it. If you started with something more of a better platform right off the get-go there, you'd probably be further ahead. So anyways, I'm going to try to see. I've never used a DRAGY in my phone. My son always did it here. I'm by myself. I took the spare tire out. I feel like this thing should run a 15. I realized what was happening before was the emergency brake was dragging because I couldn't figure out, because I looked back, it ran a 1643 in Iowa, which is way higher elevation, and we had a really good air day when I ran it here a couple times, and it still was running the same. So if it doesn't go any faster, then that means it just really needs a tune-up. Like, so anyways, it's full of gas right now. It's probably going to lose a tenth off of that or something like that, but whatever. My son's not with me, so that should pick me up a tenth. So it should be about the same. So kind of see, I guess I'll try to figure that out, and then we'll see what it runs here, let you guys know. All right, guys. So yeah, I made a couple passes there. It definitely needs a tune-up. I'm kind of wondering now if it fouled out plugs or something. I also noticed here it was kind of weird that, so I made the first pass and it only ran like a 17-second pass there, which is like way slower than it's ever been. Even when it was laying like piles of rubber, it would still run faster than that. So I did another pass. I loaded it up a little better. It doesn't spin like it did because I had welded that posi. I think the posi sort of, like the weld sort of broke a little, but it still grabs both most of the time. But it is way slower because it ran a 1680 there, and our density altitude right now is, I think, like minus 1600 or something stupid like that. Like I think it was like 2800 density altitude when I made my fastest pass at 1640 there. So really it should be running like probably a minimum it would be running right now is like high 15s, like probably 15.8, 15.90s. That would be like, I mean, at least faster than a 1640. So, but it, like I said, it could be that one spark plug wire. I know it was sparking there a little bit. I didn't have any extras to fix it here, but I'm sure I need plugs and wires and cap and rotor and distributor and all that kind of stuff. But that's a little unusual. I thought it would have picked up a little bit for sure there, but it didn't even feel fast. It felt lazy. So it is what it is. I'm gonna head to town here. Oh, apparently I'm going completely the wrong way here. I thought it was on the Dora highway here. Apparently that's not this road. That's funny. Yeah, so I don't understand why it's slowed down so much there. Like I mean, it could, oh, sorry. It could very well be that it was the, it could very well be that it just needs a tune-up now. Like I said, I've been driving it like this. I told you guys I've never serviced it, never changed oil, never done anything to it. It's like pretty dumb actually, but it's how she was. So I'm gonna head to town and run some errands here or whatever, and I might make one more pass on the way home there and see if I can get it to leave a little better there, but I'll have to look back at the numbers, like the 60 foot and all that kind of stuff. Sorry I didn't have my earbuds today. This truck's loud. It's pretty loud. But yeah, I'll probably make one more pass on the way back there. What would have been super frustrating there is probably I would have put all those parts into it and it wouldn't have gone any faster. And then I would have thought, did something go wrong here? But like I said, I think it just needs a major tune-up there or whatever. It's just one of those things. It's like I haven't done anything to it. If you ever, I'll take a picture of the wires and show you guys. But the wires are like so old on it. They're probably old 7mm wires from like who knows when. So if I keep it, I'll change those and give it a quick tune-up, put some plugs and whatnot in it at least, and then see if it picks up any or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it can't get a better air day than this. I mean, it was like it's negative temperatures right now. I figured it would have been a good day to make the fastest pass that it could possibly make anyway. So obviously that's not happening here today unless I do something more, but it definitely doesn't spin like it did. Like I said, even when I loaded it up, it'll lay a little bit of rubber, but nowhere near what it was. It's like spinning the tires enough that it's happy. So yeah, so anyways, I guess, I don't know, I might do something with it a little bit later, but we'll see. But anyway, so I was realizing when I just did that, I just did another draggy pass there. I ran a 1650 and it spun a little bit. I think it broke the welds on the posi there. Well, I shouldn't say posi, it was a Lincoln locker. Anyways, I do have a new welder that I got there. I haven't had a chance to use it yet. Might consider doing that if it doesn't sell. But the one thing I think I'm realizing is the secondaries aren't opening until way later, because you could actually feel it that pass where it was like and then like full on just open it up. So maybe there's a vacuum leak somewhere or something's going on with the carburetor finally or whatever. But like I said, that should have been a way faster pass, you know, like these three passes here were way slow. So probably like between the tune-up and probably needing a little bit of other things there, but definitely slowing it down. But anyways, it was fun to just get it out and take a little cruise here. I realized that I do not have tags on this truck. I did not, when I moved to Oklahoma, I did all my other vehicles and somehow I completely forgot about this one. So I'm gonna take it home before I get a ticket. And yeah, see if we can do some other things here. But said have a guy looking at it this afternoon. If he takes it, that's totally cool, and if he doesn't, that's fine too. So if it does sell, I guess have to look for another project, maybe get you guys to help me out and see if you got anything that I might be interested in or whatever. I'm always looking for something that's a little bit of a budget project or whatever. I'm starting to have too many vehicles now, having to register and insure 9 vehicles. which is what we have. It's getting pretty expensive, so probably time to downsize a little bit here. I don't have the garage space, and I mean, honestly, all these vehicles, half of them aren't getting used anyway, so probably time to look forward and maybe get something a little different after I downsize. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow me on social media, TK Scratch 405 on Instagram and Facebook, as well as YouTube here. And appreciate you guys following along, share it around, and catch you guys in the next one. Thanks, guys.